Oh, hi, and welcome in to Nick's Practice Club, where I ramble on about things that I find interesting in music and hopefully inspire you to pick up your instrument and practice. Today we're going to be covering APT by Rosie and Bruno Mars. My first video was about the first rock and roll song, so I figured the most logical thing to follow that up with would be a K-pop song from 5 months ago. If you're into that kind of thing, please like and subscribe. If not, please like and subscribe. So let's get down to business and discuss APT by Rosie and Bruno Mars. Join me, will you? Now you might be wondering why would I be interested in covering this song? Well, a student of mine a couple weeks ago asked if I could please teach her apt. So I obliged. And frankly, I found it fun, and there's a couple surprises in it that I thought were a little interesting, so we're going to take a look at those. Now, the student who asked me about this song is a keyboard student, and as you can imagine, it's not that easy to convert Korean words into notes on a keyboard. As it turns out, though, Rosie pretty much speaks the initial words in B flat. And you can kind of tell that, well, all words actually are notes. And you can tell that because of how she ends the phrases. Uh-huh, uh-huh. But yeah, but so we did, we did that and figured out that a rhythm that she could play on the keyboard was. So it's B flat to C, the notes that are implied in the intro slash verse. I guess it's actually the chorus. The song starts on the chorus. You know another band that starts a lot of songs on choruses? Red Hot Chili Peppers. Take a look into that. So the song is in C minor. The chorus is something like C, B flat, C, something like that. They're pretty much playing just either root notes or power chords there. I don't even really hear a third in the first couple of chords, but ways you can approximate it on guitar would be something like that's C minor, B flat, C minor. Something like that would work. Power chords, of course, always work. At any rate, the chorus wasn't the part that I found interesting. The next thing what caught my ear about it was it's got a very pretty chorus. I had heard the song before she requested it, but I had no idea what the title was, had no idea who it was by, and found out that it was by Rosie, who spells her name Rose, a Korean artist, and Bruno Mars, who has somehow grown on me over the years. Wasn't a huge fan out of the gate with that guy, but I liked Silk Sonic, and the guy actually cares about music, so I'm kind of a fan now. At any rate, the chorus is A flat major, B flat major, C minor, and E flat major. So we get a flat 6 chord in minor keys. That's correct. All the chords are diatonic in this case. They all fit within the key in the pre-chorus. Anyway, this is the pre-chorus that we're talking about. So we've got A flat 6, flat 7 chord, 1 chord, and then the 3 chord, flat 3 chord, which is the relative major of C minor, E flat major. Now, I like to dig a little deeper when I get chord progressions that I like and kind of figure out what the proper extensions of those chords are. So in this case, we'd be dealing with an A flat major 7. The B flat would be a dominant chord, a B flat 7. B flat 13 sounds good. The C minor would be a C minor 7. That's what's implied there. It's not anything, fancy and jazzy like a C minor major 7. It's a straight up C minor 7. And the 3 chord would be an E flat major 7. That's all dictated by the key. This is all diatonic stuff happening there. And I made a little loop of those chords much slower than the actual progression goes in the song, because I like to, when I'm noodling around and having fun with those, I like to slow things down and explore the space. Ah, isn't that nice? One chord. Flat 6. Flat 7. 1. Flat 3. It's all diatonic, so you could just, learn a C minor scale or an A flat, E flat major scale and noodle around with those. E flat major. All the notes work, right? What I find a little more fun to deal with are pentatonics. I mean, it's obviously a guitar standby. The guitar is kind of built for pentatonics. I got this thing here. If you're sketchy about your pentatonic patterns, I mean, there's plenty of resources online for that, but this thing is called, sliding rulers guitar. Sliding guitar rulers or whatever. It tells you what notes are in each pentatonic as you slide this little card along, and I don't really think in notes that often, frankly, but it shows you the patterns in a very easy to read way, and my students like it, and so there's that. But dealing with pentatonics in this, I noodled around a little bit before I did this in my extensive preparation process. And what I found was E flat major pentatonic works for 3 of the chords. The only one you really want to switch your pentatonic to is B flat major pentatonic when it goes to the B flat right here. That's where the notes really change and sound good for that to happen. So, let me shut up and play a little. Literally 2 scales. So the E flat major pentatonic works over the A flat major chord because the E flat major pentatonic has a G has a G natural in it, which is the seventh of the A flat chord. And sevenths, major sevenths often clash with roots. So you got to just kind of use your ear and decide what do you want to use there. The A flat major pentatonic does work, but the E flat works really well too, and then you're only dealing with two scales. So I literally go through as the progression's going through. When it goes to the B flat chord, I do switch to the B flat major pentatonic. And then when it goes to the C minor chord, I can go back to the E flat major chord, or the E flat major pentatonic, because they're the same pentatonic. C minor and E flat major are relative minor and major, and the pentatonic scale works for both of those chords. So, for three of the chords, I'm using E flat major pentatonic. Only for when it goes to the B flat chord, I'm switching to a B flat major pentatonic. So, why don't I noodle around with those a little more? So I played mostly right notes there, and you kind of get the idea. It's fun to goof around with that stuff. I can do some more stuff than that, but when it comes down to actually performing things on the spot, learning to play within yourself and not going too far out on a limb is generally helpful. I went a little too far, even just doing that, and clammed up a little bit, but it's practice, man. It's practice. It's practice. Practice. Hit your wrong notes, you know. Probably won't do it in a gig, right? Never hit wrong notes in a gig. So in that little noodle session there, I kept everything in this region here. Just, you can do that all over the guitar and just figure out what notes fit in which pentatonic at the same time. It changes how your brain thinks about the guitar. I'm a bass player. I didn't I play guitar because nobody really hires bass players to sing along for weddings and private parties and stuff. So I'm mainly a rhythm guitar player, but I goof around with this stuff in my in my spare time, and I loop when I'm playing gigs and stuff as well. But learning that really changes how you think about the guitar, how to stay efficient, and opens your ears up and opens your hands up to multiple opportunities. So that's a good way to approach dealing with pentatonics and or dealing with soloing in general. Learn the pentatonics that work with a certain chord progression and just try to keep your hand in one region of the guitar at a time. And then go to a different region and do the same thing. And after, 30 years or so, you'll only hit 12% wrong notes. Now, another thing that impressed me about this song was they actually have a bridge in it. And, that's kind of few and far between in modern pop music. It's a lot of times it's just four chords and let them go and verse, chorus, and, you know, then they'll just cut all the instruments out and you hear the drums for a while and then the instruments come back in and song's over. But this one actually has a bridge and it has a funky chord in it. The bridge is, let's see, C, B flat, E flat. Oh, no, okay. We're in C minor. So it starts on C minor, then B flat, then E flat, and it lands on C major. Kind of weird. It's not expected. It's called a borrowed chord in fancy music theory terms. But you don't hear that often. There is, okay, Hey Ya by Outcast. Yeah. Hey Ya also ends on an E major when it shouldn't. Yeah, just reverse engineered that, remembering that it ends on an E major. So at any rate, that song should end on an E minor. C, C, D, D, E minor. That's what the key says it should do, but they actually ended on E major. Kind of interesting. Adds an interesting dissonance to it. I don't think the vocals clash with it, as I recall, but I don't remember. At any rate, that's just kind of an interesting little thing that they throw in the bridge there. And yeah, like I said, you don't hear a lot of bridges. You don't hear a lot of bridges that really contrast a lot with songs anymore nowadays. But you know what a band that often plays bridges that contrast with the rest of the song? Red Hot Chili Peppers. Might look into that. So at the end of the bridge, they throw in another little interesting tidbit where they land on an F7. We got C minor, B flat, E flat, C major, C minor, B flat, E flat, C major. And then they go straight into the pre-chorus again with the A flat major thing to B flat. Why does that F7 work? Well, in the key of C minor, the F should be a minor seventh, but it works because, well, minors lead to dominant chords a lot. Maybe, maybe that's the answer. Um, would it be a borrowed chord? No, because the four in a major chord would be major seventh. So um, I don't really know, but it leads nicely to A flat. How they do it. So who am I to say don't do that? It happens in other songs too. There's a Nirvana song that comes to mind, but I can't think of what it is offhand. But I think that happens there as well. At any rate, it leads really nicely back to A flat. So I'll try like the end of the bridge going back into the pre chorus. It works kind of cool. So that's about it. Interesting stuff. Interesting enough for a pop song, anyway. And I'm going to leave by noodling around on some more pre chorus of this song just because I like those changes. And maybe I'll do more than stick around in one area. I don't know. Maybe I'll play some right notes. You never know. At any rate, it's a pleasure to have you in to Nick's Practice Club. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. If you did not like it, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next installment. Practice, man. Why can't I play?